Here we are, guys. If you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, or even a marketing professional, making your brand feel human isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. People want to connect with more than logos and taglines, let's face it. They're looking for authenticity, personality, and relationships. Why? Because consumers don't buy products or services alone. They're driven by this little thing called emotions. Yes, emotions. Trust, and lastly, your connection, right? So when your brand has a personal touch, just a personal touch, a smidge, you're no longer just another option, right? In a saturated market. You become more memorable, relatable, and even trustworthy, guys. It's a difference between being the brand people price check and the brand they're willing to just go out of their way a little bit to show that little bit of support. So think about it like this: a thoughtful, personal touch has the power to turn casual customers into loyal advocates. You're thinking, how do you actually make your brand feel more human? Start by these little things, by sharing your story, the why behind what you do. It's the passion that fuels the business, and letting people in on that creates an emotional connection. Show up with your personality on platforms where you engage, whether it's social media, email marketing, webinars. Speak like a person, not a corporate machine. Use your voice to build relationships. Don't shy away from showing behind the scenes moments or even sharing customer stories, successes, as these will help to build that sense of community. Most importantly, be consistent and authentic. People can most or less usually fake relatability, right? Or somebody that is a used cars salesman, hopefully from a mile away. By layering these personal touches, you'll craft a brand that not only stands out, but also resonates deeply with your audience. What's up, everyone? This is Fit for Business with your host, me, Jarod Lehn. Welcome to episode 49. That's right, baby, 49 weeks in. And for those of you who don't know, I'm the owner and founder of Socialtopia, a social media marketing agency based right here in Monroe, New York. We've been in business going on 7 years to this day. Like I'm doing in my podcast and have been doing for the previous 48 weeks, you have to be yourself. That's who I am day in and day out. Even when you see me filming and you're consuming my content on whatever screen you're looking through, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, or listening to me on Spotify. Now, I get it. That phrase probably seems very overused, right, and redundant, but there's a reason it sticks around. It's true. Authenticity is the foundation of any brand that truly connects with people or their audience. People don't want to see a cookie cutter, right, of someone else's content or read posts they feel like came straight out of a mass marketing playbook, right? What they're really craving is originality and a real sense of connection. Sure, right? It's fine to admire your favorite brands or your creators, right? There's no harm in drawing inspiration. But the key is to filter that inspiration through your own unique lens, right? After all, your people, your audience wanted the same old thing, they'd follow those other brands and not your brand. It isn't just telling people you're a genuine person. Hey guys, I'm genuine. It's about showing them through your actions and your content. Start by doing this, leaning into the quirks that make me and the traits that make you, well, you. Maybe you've got a knack for turning mundane situations into hilarious anecdotes. Or maybe you have a unique perspective shaped by an unusual hobby or life experience. For instance, I have this real close friend of mine. He's like a brother. He has the knack to just pull analogies out of left field, literally out of left field. And I think it's one of his greatest attributes in life. And DJ, if you're hearing this or watching, that is serious and sincere. It's true. Ever since I've known him, we can just be generally going on a conversation. And if he's trying to get his point across, which usually he does, or he wants to, whether he's talking to you or a friend or probably even one of his clients, he pulls out an analogy that he literally pulled out of left field, literally, but it has context to the conversation. It's brilliant. It's one of his attributes, and I love him for it. And another thing, for instance, right? If you're having coffee, if you're a coffee loving entrepreneur, cheers, right? Who starts every team meeting with a latte in hand, weave that into your content, right? Personality is magnetic. Think about it. Think about one of the biggest content creators in 2024. Can you think about who I'm talking about? Let's see. I'm going to paint you the picture of this person's personality and see if you can take a gander into who I'm referring to. He blew up out of nowhere over the past couple of years ago with his content and has turned into a powerhouse figure. He is big and he is bulky. He is strong. He only wears tank tops most of the time in his content, and he has a rugged attribute when it comes to his face and his beard. I think you guys who know who I'm talking about, without even having to mention his name. But his personality is magnetic, and that is his attribute. Look at Steve Jobs. What was Steve Jobs known for throughout his entire career when he was giving keynote presentations? That turtleneck. That's his vibe. That's his thing. His personality is magnetic, right? And the little details like these make your brand or you relatable. So when people feel like they know you, they're far from more likely to just support and trust your business more so. So how do you do this? To make this happen, drill down, begin really small. Share a personal story that ties into, I don't know, heck, why you started your brand, why you started this business. Maybe it was your dream you nurtured for years and something inspired you, a pivotal moment in your life, right? These kinds of anecdotes just don't add flavor to your story, they humanize your brand. Similarly, invite your people, your audience, to peek behind the curtain to get a sense of who is this person? What's their vibe like? Share pictures of your workspace, your team in action, or even beyond the chaos of a messy desk during a busy project, right? It shows people that you're really hyper focused and you're focused on that one thing. People love seeing the human side of business, and the kind of transparency fosters loyalty over time. One important thing to remember is that authenticity doesn't mean oversharing or forcing a relatable persona that doesn't align with who you really are. People can sense inauthenticity from a mile away, and nothing erodes trust faster than inauthenticity. You don't have to spill your entire life story. Simply focus on the parts that feel genuine and relevant to who you are, your brand. Whether it's a funny mishap from starting your business or sharing values that keep you motivated every fucking day, these authentic moments matter most. At its core, being yourself doesn't mean you need to appeal to everyone. Heck, I know I'm not going to appeal to everyone, and that's fine. You don't have to appeal to everyone, right? If you've seen those posts before, look at a room that has 10 people. Look at a room that has 100 people. Look at a room that has 1,000 people. Now look at your follower count across all your social media platforms. Maybe you have 100 followers on Facebook and Friends. Maybe you have 500 connections on LinkedIn. Maybe you have 600 connections or followers on Instagram. And maybe you have 20,000 followers on TikTok. And on YouTube, maybe you have 15 subscribers. Now pool all those people together. That's over 20,000 people that are coming together to see who you are as your brand. That's a lot of people. If you had 20,000 people, that would be the size of a stadium. Get our drift? Think about drawing in, again, the right audience, the kind of people who are your people, the kind of people who resonate with your voice, your story, and your vision. See, when you're authentic, you naturally attract those who get you and value what you have to bring to the table. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. Trends are fucking everywhere in marketing, and it's easy to see why they're so tempting. They're so cloying. When something like a TikTok dance challenge or viral meme is taking over the internet, It feels natural to want to hop on the bandwagon, right? After all, trends often deliver quick engagement and could put your brand in the spotlight for a while, for a moment. But here's the catch: trends fade, sometimes overnight. If your content strategy relies too much on chasing these fleeting moments, you'll risk losing your voice and your audience, which it happens time and time again. Once that trend is over, the content doesn't just lose relevance, it can feel disconnected or out of touch with your audience and who they truly value. That's my 2 cents at least. Instead of throwing all your energy into the latest craze, take a step back and ask yourself this simple question: what are hot button topics my audience actually cares about? Right? Those deeper evergreen topics are the ones that are going to resonate across seasons and years, not just for a week or two. For example, if your target audience includes small business owners, focus on tangible challenges they face. Topics like mastering customer service, creating budgets, or achieving work life balance, if there is such a thing. Those are always relevant topics. These are conversations that create lasting connections with your audience because they're tap into real world priorities. So when you guys focus on their needs rather than yours and what's fleetingly popular, you position yourself, your company, your brand as a trusted resource that can turn again and again and again, right? This doesn't mean you should ignore trends altogether, and I'm not saying that, right? This is the key. The key is to use them strategically in a way that feels authentic for you and your brand, right? So let me spit this. For instance, if a viral dance challenge is lightening up TikTok, Instagram Reels, think about how you can tie your story or mission rather than just doing it for the sake of joining in, if that makes sense, right? Maybe your team gets involved into with a twist that reflects who you are as a company. Or instead of mimicking everyone else, try zigging when others zag, right? Somebody goes right, go left. Take a trend and add your spin to it. That individuality could be the very thing that makes people remember your brand. Listen, at the end of the day, trends come and go, but meaningful content tailored to your people will stick around. By staying true to your brand's identity and creating value packed content, create value packed fucking content that will align with your audience, challenge their interests. You'll be one step ahead of the trend chasing crowd. But you can't say that 10 times quick. Balance is key. Lean into trends sparingly, right? And only when they enhance your story, not distract from it. That's the best way you can get out of both worlds: short term buzz and long term loyalty. Now, I want to flip the script and talk about tools, similarly how we spoke about last week. Tools like last week, AI integrated, how AI can actually bring a personal touch to your brand. Wait, AI? Personal? Yes, you heard that right in my Michael Scott voice. While some people might assume that using AI will make your content feel robotic or even disconnected, here's the truth. You want the truth? This is completely the opposite if you use it wisely. AI, when tapped into thoughtfully, can become an invaluable tool that assists, enhances your creativity, and even amplifies your ability to connect with your audience on a deeper level. For starters, folks, AI is a fantastic fucking tool that can spark your creativity, right? We all know platforms like ChatGPT or Jasper, which I spoke about last week, are perfect for getting the ball rolling when you're staring at a blank canvas or a screen. Those tools can help you brainstorm fresh ideas, suggest unique content angles, or even craft compelling headlines that stand out in a crowded feed. Feeling stuck on wording for something? AI can provide suggestions for you that help you find the perfect phrase. But here's the key to things, keeping things personal. It's your input, it's your tone, and your final edits are the ones that bring the human magic to the content. AI might help construct with your efficiency, but your voice is what makes it fucking matter the most. Beyond creativity, AI tools excel at analysis, giving you insight into what your audience truly cares about. These tools can scan trends, measure audience behaviors, and pinpoint topics or questions people are talking the most about. This means you can tailor your content to your audience's real challenges and needs or curiosities. For example, by understanding which customer pain points are trending, you can create content from Canva. You can create video content. You can do lives, right? Go live on TikTok, go live on Instagram, start selling things, start talking about your brand, right? That content feels not only relevant, but genuinely helpful, right? When your audience sees that you get them, we hear this all the time, it builds trust and deepens the relationship. Think of AI less like the competition and more like your creative assistant. It doesn't replace what you make, it makes it special. By saving you prep time and cutting down on repetitive tasks, AI allows you to focus on what you do best, whether that's storytelling, connecting with people, or innovating new ideas. Imagine having more room in your day to interact with people, ready to find the creativity that flourishes to make your company stand out. All because AI helps streamline the groundwork. The bottom line is AI is here to work with us, not replace us. Use it strategically. It's a powerful tool that will help you stay inspired, consistent, and in tune with your people. Just remember, the heart of the brand is still you, the ones watching and listening to this. When you use AI to complement those natural skills, you're not only going to save time, but you also create content and help in other areas of the business that are uniquely human. So, before we wrap up, let me look at a couple of great examples of brands that absolutely nail the personal touch and do it in a way that feels completely authentic, right? And these are the two people I want to talk about. These are people whose content I've been consuming for years. First up, if you haven't heard of him, this guy, he's a comedian, Trevor Wallace. Trevor Wallace is fucking hilarious. One of the things Trevor does so well is staying true to his unique brand of humor. Since day one, in interacting and engaging with him, and what I've seen, his comedic style hasn't wavered. It's sharp, it's relatable, it's hysterical, and it appeals to a wide audience because he knows exactly what works for him. Whether he's poking fun at specific stereotypes or crafting over the top skits, Trevor sticks to a formula that consistently showcases his personality. His ability to both be funny and authentic is what I think keeps coming me back for more and other fans. So I think the lesson here for all of us is, when you know what makes you, excuse me, when you know what makes you you and you lean into it, your people are going to notice that and they're going to connect with it. And here's another prime example. People we all love. I don't know anyone that dislikes this guy. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Seriously, who doesn't love him? What makes The Rock such a phenomenal personal brand is how deeply he lets his audience into his world. Follow him on any platform and you'll see the same consistent themes. His intense training sessions, his unwavering love for his fans, and his devotion for his family. Over the years, he's managed to seamlessly weave into everything from brands to his blockbuster movies without it feeling forced or inauthentic. The secret? He's not selling, he's sharing. Like something Gary Vee would fucking say, right? You feel like you're part of his journey, not just a consumer of his products. That level of connection inspires loyalty and makes his brand one of the most relatable, despite his larger than life persona. So when you see examples like Trevor Wallace and The Rock, it's really natural to wonder how you can apply these similar principles to your own brand. Here's the thing, it's not even about copying them outright. That's not what I'm saying. Instead, think about what resonates with you and your audience. Maybe you admire Trevor's consistency or The Rock's openness, but the magic happens when you take those ideas and mold them into something uniquely your own, right? For instance, if you're known for being upbeat and positive, infuse that energy into your content. If storytelling is your strength, use that and create connections with your audience. The beauty of personal branding is that there's no one size fits all formula. The key is to find what makes you stand out and double down on that shit. Draw inspiration from the best, adapt in a way that feels natural, and put your own spin on it. Remember, your audience is looking for you, not a replica of someone else. And when you show up authentically, they're going to keep showing up too. And there you have it. So, Adding a personal touch to your brand doesn't have to be complicated. It's all about staying true to yourself while finding ways to connect with people on a, let's face it, just a human level. I challenge everybody to think about one way you could make your brand authentic this week, today, whether that's sharing behind the scenes moment, opening up about your inspiration, or using AI to brainstorm fresh content ideas. If you've been enjoying this episode, don't forget to show some love. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and tap that subscribe button, right? So you don't miss out on more content. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and tap that follow button to stay tuned for the latest episodes. I'll see you guys next week.